broken, has it not?
It's a vote for New Labour, for a new type of politics.
Ask me my three main priorities for government, and I tell you, education, education, and education.
Join us. Join with Labour. Together, we can build the great British society and end the shame of child poverty in Britain. We should do more for those who have the greatest needs.
Gordon Brown's plans to do away with the 10p tax band would hit millions of the lowest paid workers.
Have you made a mistake? Never again will we allow the retirement plans of tens of thousands of Britain's working people to be ruined.
My immediate priority is the NHS.
Over 40,000 patients have died from MRSA and C. difficile.
Relatives of those who died are demanding an inquiry into the worst ever NHS hospital scandal.
On Tuesday night, I gave the order for British forces to take part in military action in Iraq. Their mission? To remove Saddam Hussein from power and disarm Iraq of its weapons of mass destruction.
The 45-minute claim was based on unsubstantiated intelligence.
We will keep in our minds and hearts the work of courage that is being done by our soldiers and our armed forces in Afghanistan. And we will support them in every way. The defence budget has been rising every year. I do accept that in 1 or 2 years, defence expenditure did not rise in real terms.
The Home Office has denied the Gurkhas residency, despite them putting their lives on the line for this country.
We abhor waste and imprudence in public spending.
I believe that the Dome will be good for Britain, for jobs, for tourism.
You're not talking about something down at the DIY store.
One's eyes naturally turn to Lord Irvine's wallpaper, since it costs £300 per roll.
I certainly do not think that any apologies are due.
ID cards will cost the taxpayer almost £1 billion, but critics say they won't make us any safer.
The refurbishment at Ed Ball's schools department included a massage room and contemplation suite, and cost the taxpayer £3 million.
We will put stability first, so we don't return to these old boom and bust stop-go days.
Indeed, it now seems likely that the UK economy is entering recession.
This is the worst recession in 60 years.
They have finally brought the curtain down on Woolies.
I will never let the deficit get out of control. It is a goal that this party has long sought, full employment for our country.
Youth unemployment has hit a record high.
Economic responsibility, planning for the long term, building stability from solid foundations. Labour is working.
No more sleaze, no more lies, no more broken promises.
The Formula One boss Bernie Ecclestone has admitted he gave the Labour Party £1 million.
Lord Levy, Blair's top fundraiser, was arrested and bailed over the alleged trade in cash for honours. In December, the Prime Minister himself was questioned by police.
Jailed in 3 continents for fraud, facing deportation from Britain.
This is Peter Foster, the man who Cherie Blair chose to help buy a flat for her son.
I'm a bit like a sort of cab for hire, I suppose.
Stephen Byers and 2 other former Labour ministers were today caught in a cash for lobbying scandal.
The British people have put their trust in us.
That I did not lie, I did not deceive, and I did not set out to mislead.
Tonight, Peter Mandelson came back to the house that has cost him his job.
What I've said about not fast-tracking was untrue. And in those circumstances, I think it's beholden on me to step down.
The Hinduja passport affair has forced Peter Mandelson to resign from government for the 2nd time.
There's no question of his coming back into government.
David Blunkett was caught out in a conflict of interests over shares in a DNA testing company.
It shall be a government rooted in strong values.
Cheerio.
This is the man who brought spin to Downing Street.
Charlie Whelan, Gordon Brown's spin doctor, resigned after being caught briefing against his own colleagues.
The Transport Secretary's special advisor, Joe Moore, suggested it was a good day to bury bad news.
Gordon Brown's right-hand man, Damien McBride, was forced to resign after planning a vicious smear campaign against Tory MPs and their families.
I am not a team of one. As everybody can see, I'm one of a team.
It's hardly surprising that, as in any relationship, there have been times when we've differed.
There have been arguments, feuds, and rumours of blazing rows.
Alistair Darling is not only a very good personal friend of mine, but he's also been a great chancellor.
Forces of hell were unleashed. Forces of hell were unleashed.
Caroline Flint has accused the Prime Minister of treating her like window dressing.
Minutes after polls closed, James Purnell resigned from the cabinet and called on Gordon Brown to stand down.
120 days from the likely date of a general election, and there's an attempted coup in the Labour Party.
I can't understand why anybody would oppose the idea of a secret ballot.
There have been public calls for the Prime Minister to resign, there have been private briefings, speculation, all the rest of it.
He is a man who is strong, sound in his convictions, true to his principles.
But today he was accused of shoving one of his aides, grabbing another by his lapels, swearing and losing his temper.
You're a very good woman. You've served the community all the life. Should never have put me with that woman.
What did she say?
Everything. She's just a sort of bigoted woman.